Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'm going to be doing a deck update for you of my Herald of Ultimateness deck. I did a deck profile of this deck about 5-6 months ago, and ever since then there's been some new support that came out recently from Bosch, mainly Cyber Dragon Infinity, and I really want to do a deck update of this deck for you guys. I've been having a lot of fun playing this deck for a couple of months now again. I've been playing it a lot. It's one of my main decks I've been playing a lot of, and I thoroughly enjoy playing this deck. I love control-based decks, and like I've told you guys many times, I've been playing Herald decks for a very long time, ever back from, since I played Herald Agents back in the day. But first off, I run 3 Herald of Ultimateness, the main namesake of the deck. Great card, kind of hard to get out sometimes. You cry when you draw 2 Guakis in your hand, but nonetheless, it's a very good card, very powerful card. Pretty much stops everything in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you can keep telling your opponent, as long as you have fairies in your hand, no, 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 no. So it's really fun. So 3 Herald of Ultimateness. Then I run 3 Manju of 10,000 Hands. Great card in the deck. I'm so happy that Manju did not get hit. I was going to flip the table if Manju got hit, because I have a lot of ritual decks I want to rebuild, and if they had hit Manju, I would have been like, I hate you, Konami. But they didn't, so thank you, Konami. Manju is perfect in a Herald of Perfection deck. First off, he is a fairy. Second off, he's a light, so you can use Honest with him, and Christia, because he's a fairy. So all around, he's a great card. Definitely a staple of 3 of in this deck. Then I run 3 Galen Dogra, and people always, when they see me summon this card first turn, and I'm like, pay 3,000, pay another 3,000. They just sit there looking at me like, what the fudge does this card do? I can't tell you how many people give me these looks of like, what is this? I was dueling against my friend Will last night, and I special summon it, and I normal summon it, and he's like, what the fudge is this little bug? Are you trying to make fun of me? And he learned what I did, and he's like, oh, I better stop that. So yes, Galen Dogra, if you don't know what it does, pretty much is, there's no restriction on how many times you can activate the effect. But the thing is, it pretty much can be a first turn setup for Herald of Perfection, or Herald of Ultimateness, excuse me. So pretty much I can go Galen Dogra, pay 3,000 life points, send Herald the Arclight to the graveyard. Herald of Arclight's effect kicks off, so I can search either Advanced Ritual Art, or I can search Herald of Ultimateness out. Then, if I want to, again, say I didn't have both pieces in my hand, but I got a lot of fairies, I can activate its effect again, because there's no restriction on how many times you can activate Galen Dogra's effect. Send my other Herald of the Arclight to the graveyard, again, then search out the other piece, pretty much the Advanced Ritual Art. So that's how that works. It does get cloggy at 3 sometimes, but believe me, I really have never had multiple of the cards of this card in hand for some odd reason. I do like it as a 3 of. You could run 2, but at the end of the day, you definitely need 3 in the deck if you're playing the deck this way. There's different ways you can play Herald of Ultimateness, but this way I just find is really good. But definitely I like the 3 Galen Dogra. And I just love the looks people give me when I summon that. And if they don't know what I'm playing, I've had that happen to me before. They're like, what the heck are you playing? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. Summon Galen Dogra. They're like, what? And then they finally hits them after I've done it, and they're like, oh, I hate you, myself. So next up, I run the 3-stick excuse me, sorry for touching so much, Star Seraph Scepter. So we run the 3 Seraph Scepter and the 3 Sovereign, the 3 Chair. Really good. This engine is so good in this deck. It really, and I've done it countless times in the last couple of weeks. I will set up an Herald of Ultimateness, and then I will set up a Cyber Dragon Infinity right next to it, and maybe I'll have 2 negations in my hand, 3 negations in my hand for Herald of Ultimateness, and my opponent is just sitting there going, what do I do? That is a first turn play. What do I do? I've had that happen. It's so fun. I love the facial expression. But this is a good, I feel like the Star Seraph engine just fits so perfectly where Herald of Ultimate is. Just like the Agent engine did back in the day, but this is more of an updated version of that, I feel. because you just get so much advantage to your hand. Draw through your deck. It's a fairy archetype. What more could you ask for? So 3 stick, 3 chair. Definitely a staple in the deck. Then we run some of the other Star Seraphs that people not know that much about, but they do come in handy. We do run 2 Seraph Scout, and I run 2 Seraph Scale. I used to run 3 Scale, but I replaced 1 for an Instant Fusion. Didn't want to run too many Instant Fusion because I always seem to find myself very low in life points, so I didn't run more than 1. But I replaced it with Instant Fusion. But the Scale does come in handy sometimes. I do get its effect off, which is nice, which I'll read its effect to you guys. If this card was used for 3 or more, when this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 Star Seraph monster from your hand. Then you can place 1 light monster from your graveyard on top of your deck. Usually I do choose Honest, which is awesome. If you XYZ for a monster that using more than 3 of these monsters, including this card on the field as XYZ summon, gain the effect. Once per turn while this card has XYZ materials, if a monster is special summoned from your from the hand, immediately draw 1 card. So it gives you some draw power, but usually I use it for XYZ summoning. Sometimes I use it with Honest, but it really comes in handy. Definitely 2 Scale and the 2 Seraph Scout. Next, I run 2 Archlord Christia. It creates another little lock with the deck where you have Archlord Christia out and you have Herald of Ultimateness out. Or just you have Herald of Christia out and maybe a Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is really nice. But 2 Archlord Christia, you can bring it back through Call of the Haunted. So if you pitch it, you can reborn it with Call of the Haunted or Soul Charge. So that does happen. Next, I run the 2 Honest. So 2 Honest in the deck. Definitely a staple in the deck. It's a fairy. It helps you get over things. What more can I say? More fodder for Herald of Ultimateness. Then I won 1 card that I have teched into the deck for a while now, and I've seen other people play it as well. And the Alintheo has played it before, so shout outs to Alintheo, because me and him love this deck. We both love this deck. Love to see a mirror match with him one day, Herald of Ultimateness versus Herald of Ultimateness. That would be a long, painful duel. But Medion the Time Lord, really good card. It's a fairy. If you don't know what it does, look it up. But it's a really good card. I do like it. Its effect is very nice. I'll read it to you guys. Can't be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. So you have to have no monsters on the field. It's a good backup play. I'll say that. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. You take no battle damage from attacks involving this attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, return all other monsters on the field to the hand, and if you do, inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card returned. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into your deck. Really good card, can win you games, really in clutch situations, has bided me enough time to reassert my board presence, I guess you could say. But definitely a staple as a 1 of in the deck, I really love it. Then I run 3, I never can pronounce this card, Garakuta, no, I just call her Magatama. That's the name I've always given to her. But we have 2 of the alternative artworks that came out of the Show and Junk, did I just say Show and Junk? Oh my gosh. The Show and Jump anniversary artwork. So this is Magatama's anniversary artwork. This is the original artwork. I like running it differently. It looks really cool. But that's what I run here, the 3 Magatama. Pretty much what you do with Magatama is, I'll explain to you guys because it's the next card. You use it with Advanced Ritual Art. So pretty much you go Advanced Ritual Art, send 2 of these to the graveyard, bring out Herald of Ultimateness. That's your main play. Now, you may say ask me, what do you do if you draw 2 of these in your opening hand? You just go in your corner and you cry. But I will admit, sometimes I've still won the duel. You may ask me, how is that? I use the Star Seraph engine, and it wins me the duel sometimes. It really does. So, yes. 3 Magatama. Then I run 2 Advanced Heraldry Art. Not Heraldry Art. Advanced Ritual Art. Really good card. I do love it in the deck. It really works out well in the deck. I may have to reinvent this deck once the new Ritual support comes out in Shining Victories. But that's what the next set is called? I forget. Shining Victories, maybe. But neither here nor there. Really good card. Pretty much you send your vanillas to the graveyard. It's something else for another card I play, so you can gain more advantage after that. But 2 advanced ritual art. I'll talk more about some plays I can do with that in the vanillas later on. 3 upstart goblin. You don't care about how many life points your opponent has. As long as you've locked them out of your plays and they've lost advantage, you can just win through the Star Seraph engine. You get the Herald of Ultimateness out, then you go for the Star Seraph engine, and then you just blow up your opponent's world. That's how it works. The 3 upstart goblin. Gives consistency to the deck. Then I run my little tech that I've loved in the deck. For a long time, ever since I run, I guess you could say, advanced ritual art. And that is Dark Factory of Mass Production. Really good card with this deck. So let me show you the play you can do with this deck. You pretty much go advanced ritual art, okay? I send my 2 vanillas from my deck to the graveyard. Okay, so that's the graveyard there. I special summon out my Herald of Ultimateness. Okay. I activate Dark Factory of Mass Production. I get these 2 vanillas back to my hand. I have 2 free negations now in my hand. So while this card would have been just 1 free negation in my hand, I now have 2 more negations. It can win you games. The only time only one time my friend Will got through this lock where I literally got 2 of these, got 2 more free negations, and my friend still got through the lock somehow. But it really, Dark Factory of Mass Production, it's a little bit gimmicky, and I will admit that, but it wins you games. And the consistency of how you can bring Herald out and send the vanillas to the graveyard, and if you draw this, you top deck this, you have it in your opening hand. If you have just like a Manju, this, and an advanced ritual art or some combination, you just get 2 free negations, and it really can be the difference in the duel. But it's a little gimmicky, but it does win you games, and it can be very solid and just be the cherry on top of a perfect field. So, 2 Factory Mass Production, and it can be a great top deck if you already have Herald of Ultimateness out. I'm not joking. For the 1-ofs I run, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Regeki, 1 Day of Peace, 1 Soul Charge. So, even though you're low on life points, I do like the Soul Charge because you're running the Star Seraph engine and you can get benefits off of that, so it really works out well in the end of the day. 1 Day of Peace, when you go for Galen Dagra and you have 1 Day of Peace, it's very good because you can set that Galen Dagra out in the field here, and then pretty much you can activate 1 Day of Peace. Yeah, your opponent gets a draw, but you're not going to take any damage for them attacking over Galen Dagra and trying to OTK you at the wazoo. So yeah, it does come in handy, plus more draw power for the deck. Regeki, it's a good card. Clear the board. It's a free clearing the board. Go off with your Star Seraph engine. I like it. You could replace it with another fairy, but I like it in the deck. And the 1 Instant Fusion in the deck, because you do run Nodin and you run in Star Seraph, so you get extra benefits. Plus it helps with your rank 4 plays, I guess you could say as well. For your trap lineups, you only run 3 traps. You run 1, 2, 3 Call the Haunted. You run 3 Call the Haunted because you're running the Star Seraph engine. You go Scepter, you bring out that, you search for another chair, you go off chair. There's plays you can do. So 3 Call the Haunted. Definitely a staple on the deck. You can bring back Archlord Christia as well. There's different things you can do. For the extra deck, we run 15 cards in the extra deck. We run Cyber Dragon Infinity, Cyber Dragon Nova, Tellarknight Ptolemaeus. You could run another Ptolemaeus if you really, really want to, but I usually find myself, how can I say this properly? Usually just needing 1, I guess you could say. But you could run 2 if you really wanted to. So we got Ptolemaeus. If you guys didn't notice that, I pretty much went a little quick. You have Infinity, Cyber Dragon Nova, Stellar Knight, Ptolemaeus. And then you run some other rank 3s in case you have other plays you want to do. So you have the Constellar Pleiades, which you can go into with the Ptolemaeus. Depending upon the matchup, you can go for Stellar Knight, Constellar Diamond. So these 2 pretty much right here, I guess you could say, are your 3 targets for the Ptolemaeus, depending upon your matchup. Pleiades can come in handy. This Diamond, depending upon your matchup, and Core, if you just really want to have a great board, and you can go for a great setup. So those are your Ptolemaeus targets right there. You could run another Ptolemaeus, but that's up to you as a player. Next, I run for your pretty much just regular Stellar Knight cards you can go for. with your chair, stick and chair, besides Telemaeus, that is. Yeah, these guys here. So, Stellar Knight Deteros, really good card. Evil Swarm Ouroboros, and number 104 Masquerade, really underrated card and very good card. Next up, for your just rank 4 generic plays, which sometimes you do go into, your 101, your Castel, your Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, and your Abyss Dweller. Pretty standard. Abyss Dweller, you get the extra effects because it's water attribute with Norden, so that works well. And then finally, I run the 1 Nodin because I do run the 1 Instant Fusion, plus you can abuse Nodin with Call the Haunted. Really works well in the deck. And 2 Herald the Arc Light. Works very well in the deck as well, and it's your main thing for Gale and Dogra plays. So, yep. Nodin works very well. You can really abuse the 1 Nodin with Call the Haunted very well. So, yeah, if you get him out of the deck. But you could run more instant fusions, but it's personally up to you as the player to decide if you really want to do that or not. Personally, I'm going to let you guys know from play testing and whatnot that it was okay running more instant fusions, but it could become inconsistent to some degree. So you could take the Regeki out for a second instant fusion, but that's up to you as a player to decide, and maybe put I want to say put Daigusto Emerald in the deck, but you could put 1 Daigusto Emerald if you want to recycle the Nodin. But you're going to probably bring it back, Monster Reborn it, Call the Haunted, excuse me, it back a lot of times to go for more combo plays. So yeah, I'll just say that about that. It comes in handy. It's more icing on top of the cake, I guess you could say. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this Herald of Ultimateness deck profile. I know a lot of people probably hate this deck profile because it's such a Control-y-esque deck, but I am a Control player. I always love Control-esque decks that shut opponents down from doing something in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have fun playing with Herald for ages now. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I'll see all of you guys next time, and I hope you all enjoy this deck profile. Take care, everybody.